I think it was Yogi Berra who said, I'm paraphrasing, that predicting is a risky business, especially if it's about the future.
By the time 2010 arrived, most of the world knew that the end was near. In 2012, as the prediction went, a large planet, 5 to 6 times the size of Earth, would come out of nowhere and either smash the Earth into oblivion or at least come close enough to cause everything as we know it to change. Children were scared.
It gets creepier. I Googled it and found a lot, namely this. Nibiru is a planet listed in the writings of Zecharia Sitchin, particularly his book, The 12th Planet. According to Sitchin's interpretation of Babylonian religious texts, a giant planet called Nibiru passes by Earth every 3,600 years and allows its sentient inhabitants to interact with humanity. These beings, which Sitchin identified with the Anunnaki of Sumerian myth, would become humanity's first gods. The Nibiru collision is a disastrous encounter between the Earth and a large planetary object. Believers in this doomsday event usually refer to this object as Planet X, or Nibiru.
The doomsday event?
Adults were scared.
In South Africa.
The moon's on a collision course.
I knew this. No, that wasn't.
And that the collision
is right. So what?
would be visible.
Tell me I'm wrong, because I'd love to be told that
People were scaring themselves.
Dear God, look at that.
Some of the networks actually had experts who explained in great detail what was going to happen.
Well, NASA is offering new reassurances today that doomsday is not upon us. At least that's what NASA is saying.
Others, what was not going to happen.
Is this much ado about nothing?
Well, all week I've been telling people, don't quit your day job. For God's sake, pay your rent and do your laundry.
Then NASA scientist David Morrison released a series of perhaps good-intentioned videos trying to explain where the idea of planet Nibiru came from.
Much of this has been focused on the idea of a rogue planet coming into the inner solar system and nearly hitting the Earth. It's usually called Nibiru, after an ancient Sumerian god from Mesopotamia. I don't know why there's no evidence in Mesopotamian writing that this Nibiru was ever considered a planet, but a guy named Zecharia Sitchin wrote many fantasy books about this, and that sort of gave us the idea. You can call it Planet X or whatever you want.
Planet Nibiru was first introduced to the mainstream public in 1976 by author, researcher, and mythologist Zecharia Sitchin. His first book on ancient astronauts, The 12th Planet, wove 30 years of research into Sumerian cuneiform tablets and religious texts into a tale of ancient alien visitors who created human life on Earth long ago. But Sitchin did not predict that Nibiru would collide with the Earth on December 21st, 2012. He did not tie the Mayan calendar to the work that he had done with the Sumerian tablets. That would be Nancy Lieder, founder of the Zeta Talk website. Lieder, a self-described alien contactee, says she has the ability to receive messages from extraterrestrials from the Zeta Reticuli star system through an implant in her brain.
Look, every 3,600 years this happens. You can tell, written in the rock, written in the folklore and the geology of the Earth. And the second is Zeta Talk accuracy. How much of this can't possibly be coming from Nancy? Even human science doesn't have it. Yet, the Zetas are relaying it and it comes true. So it's not Nancy, it's the Zetas.
She states that she was chosen to warn mankind that the object would sweep through the inner solar system in May 2003, that would destroy most of humanity, though that date was later postponed. But what NASA senior scientist David Morrison did was unethical and simply wrong. He attributed the hysteria to Sitchin without seemingly taking the time to do his research, and even went as far as to promote Heiser's Sitchin is Wrong website. Heiser, who has spent most of his career riding on the coattails of Sitchin's theories, is a demon and ghost-hunting theologian and biblical Old Testament scholar, a modern-day Cotton Mather with a vendetta.
I don't think he is a scholar. I've said publicly before, I don't think he knew any of the languages. He's probably a native Hebrew speaker because he was Jewish, but frankly, that doesn't impress me.
When Sitchin passed away in 2010 at the age of 90, he left this earth without ever confronting any of his detractors. He felt it was just better to ignore them. This was the type of man he was. Zechariah Sitchin was a man of great focus and convictions. He spent his entire life trying to get the answers to the questions he once asked his teachers as a child growing up in mandatory Palestine. And he never stopped.
I feel that what I've been doing in my life has not been a waste. It had a purpose, it had a meaning.
This documentary attempts to tell the full story of Sitchin's life and his work. The Sitchin Chronicles will be a thoroughly researched, feature-length documentary featuring experts of Zechariah Sitchin's works, including personalities from the Ancient Aliens television series, as well as friends, family, and colleagues. This fundraising campaign will provide the production team with the funds needed to travel, purchase historical footage, acquire licenses, and pay for production fees. We appreciate your support and look forward to releasing the Sitchin Chronicles in 2020, Zechariah Sitchin's 100th birthday.